What's up? This is Brother Sarah. So, as promised, I'm back to do something, do a little live. Our topic is dealing with challenges. The reason that I came up with that topic and decided to go live on that is because I've noticed probably over the past couple of weeks that uh, different people have come to me um, with different challenges and asked for my counsel on dealing with challenges. I've had my own challenges to deal with as well. A friend of mine, she mentioned that Saturn energy has been strong, and she pointed out the effect of Saturn energy is to basically create challenges, make things more difficult for people. And she was actually someone who called for counsel on how to navigate dealing with the challenges that she was facing. So I thought it'd be good that I come on and provide some some insights, uh, spiritual insights, from my perspective. So I think the first thing is we're living in a time when there's going to be some serious challenges uh, in the cycles of time, uh, particularly as they are described in the Indian um, system called the Yugas. We are currently in the beginning stages of the Dwapara Yuga, and we've just moved out of the Kali Yuga, but that Kali Yuga energy is still extant right now, uh, which in the Kali Yuga is the darkest of the yugas. The vibrations are very low, uh, and people are driven primarily by ego. The systems that control the world are driven by ego. The leaders of the world are primarily driven by ego. So consequently, there's a lot of disharmony uh, in the world. There's not harmony between people. There's disharmony between humanity and the environment, and because a lot of it is ego based, there are a lot of challenges because there's so much disharmony. People aren't working together. It's competition. So we we face challenges from a just dealing with things from a human standpoint, and each of us individually, will have challenges. That's also compounded by the fact that some of us have decided to embark on a spiritual path. And I was speaking to someone earlier and pointing out that once we choose the spiritual path, our lives will seem to be that much more challenging, because we have expanded our awareness. We have, made a commitment to embark on a path of spiritual ascension, and we're learning, certain spiritual principles that we're charged with integrating into our lives. As I've pointed out in the past that, on my radio show, we it's like we're going through school, we're going through an initiation. And as we learn spiritual principles, we will be tasked with putting those into practice. We will be tested on how well we've been able to learn those spiritual principles by being put in a situation where we have to implement them, right? Thus the challenges, right? So we'll have challenges just naturally because of the fact that we're living in the times that we're in, but we're also going to have challenges because of the fact that we're on a spiritual path of ascension. And in order for us to be able to grow, we're going to be forced and charged with putting those things, those principles that we've learned into practice. Now, it's important for us to understand that it's during the times of challenge when it's the most necessary for us to put those principles into practice. Uh, Having faith in ourselves, uh, surrendering to God, uh, is more challenging, than having faith that things will work out for us is more challenging when we're faced with obstacles. So it's easy to to be to be peaceful, when things are good. But we learn in spirituality to be able to be at peace regardless of the circumstances, to be at peace when things are are good, and not get too attached to and overly excited by uh, the good times, but to also maintain a level of equanimity, calmness, and peace during challenging times, so that we're not affected uh, to the extreme by either circumstance. That we can just take it in stride. We're at peace, and we're not, just taking off into euphoria when things are good, or descending into despair when we face challenges. And so that's where it becomes important for us to engage in spiritual practices, particularly uh, meditation. Um, and and yoga helps us as well, and meditation is part of yoga. But when I say yoga, it's not just about the the physical exercise of it; it's the mental, aspect of it. And so all of those practices are designed to make us more aware, um, to make us more mindful, to help us to be able to be present, and to be at peace despite what the circumstances are, to be able to develop a certain level of detachment, such that when the challenging circumstances come, uh, we aren't disturbed by it. We're not shaken. Um, we're faithful that things will work out for us. Um, and then, if we don't even experience the outcome that we were looking for, expected to be at peace with that, and know that, a better solution will ultimately happen for us. It may be that, the thing that we wanted wasn't the best thing for us, although it appeared that way to us. But just taking solace in the fact that, and comfort in the fact that things will always work out as they should, right? Uh, but as is all things, people will say, "Well, Sarah, that's easier said than done," and everything's easier said than done, you know. But until we start putting it into practice, until we start working on it, we if we start to decide that we're going to work out and get in better shape, and we've never really done that before, uh, it's easier said than done, because we that's not something that we've developed um, a habit of doing. But as we get more acclimated to doing it, it becomes more natural. It begins to be a part of us. And so it's not as challenging. So it is just for us to just to start. Okay. It's important for us to realize as well that we're always going to face some opposition. You know, there'll be, of course, external opposition. There's always distractions that are around uh, that has the intent of distracting us and keeping us off of our spiritual path, because the more that we become focused on our spiritual development, the less susceptible that we are to being controlled. And many of the forces that control the world, as I pointed out, are ego driven, um, or if you're familiar with the term adharmic, against dharma or against ma'at, as in the Kemetic, uh, against truth, righteousness, justice, reciprocity, order, balance, and harmony. Right. Uh, those forces that control the world are against those principles. Right. And so they see us uh, as resources, to be used and manipulated. Okay. And so that's why a lot of things are designed to always keep us from focusing on spiritual development, to keep us always distracted into um, what's going on with celebrities, what's going on in the in this war, that war, or whatever. Always talking about something that's going to keep us in a state of anxiety or fear, or um, or something trivial, right? Like the lives of entertainers, right? So that's that challenge, and then we have the internal challenge um, that we're going to deal with from within, ourselves. So we have our lower self, our ego self, which is going to be fighting us um, on ascending, right? And then as I said, there'll be some moments where we're going to be particularly challenged, where um, the opportunity is for us to put the principles that we learn into practice, or we could just descend into despair and depression, um, sadness, right, and start being in pity. Why is this happening to me? Get mad at God, right? Um, and and getting caught up in that negative cycle of thought and emotion, which just serves to bring to us the things that were the very things that we're afraid of. Okay, and so engaging in the practice of meditation, particularly in such a way that we just clear our minds of thoughts, withdraw our energy from thought, detach from thought is what I'm talking about. Um, which is again withdrawing our energy and just allowing thoughts to go. Um, we develop the ability to be able to be in control of what is entering into our conscious mind, and whatever we allow into our conscious mind is going to affect our emotional state. It'll affect what we're concentrating on, and it'll affect that which we create, because we bring to ourselves that which we focus on, particularly with emotion, right? So if we ever want to create something, it's by focused attention with um, with strong uh, intent, strong emotion, right? And so we want to make sure that we're giving that energy to something that we want, and that's going to be beneficial for us. And so the ability to be able to be at peace, we can develop from developing the ability to be in control of our minds. And that starts with, the regular practice of meditation, because when we get into those challenging moments, that's when we'll have to put those skills that we develop from meditation into practice. It's because when we are challenged in a challenging situation, we will begin to get bombarded with some negative thoughts and be given the opportunity to fall into despair, or we can resist the pull of the opportunity to fall into despair, and instead be resolute in our focus, resolute in our faith, and detach ourselves from the negative thoughts that will come, and thereby also avoid falling into the emotions of despair and frustration, sadness, and so on. So I wanted to just take this time to just quickly give some tips for coping with challenging times, because um, I'm sure many of us are facing that right now. I said I went through it, and I've had a number of people come to me for advice and counsel over uh, dealing with certain situations. So I thought that this would be beneficial to to anyone who hasn't had the opportunity to reach out to me personally. So with that, I hope you found this beneficial, and we're going to make it a point to do this on a regular basis. So I'll get you in the ancient Kemetic words of peace. And what's up, brother Hassan, Dr. T. Hassan Johnson? Um, I appreciate the brother coming, tuning in to my first live stream on the on multiple platforms. And do check out brother's show, The Onyx Report, if you have not. before, particularly if you're a black man, because he has some content that is quite beneficial for the black man. And, he's the brother I refer to as the black male advocate. So if you're a black man, I highly recommend tuning into the show. So with that, and if you, find yourself in the need of um, some direct counsel, do reach out to me. You can reach me at on my website, which is www.sa-ra.org. Again, that's www.sa-ra.org. And you can go ahead and book your appointment there. And I have a free 30-minute exploratory session that you can sign up for. All right. So see you next time. Have a wonderful week. Good talk.